We live. We live.
All right. Hello. Let me do this camera. Hello, everyone. How are you all? Okay, so welcome to episode 2 of With the Friends. We'll get into that. All right, so here's a monologue. Here's opening. On May 25th, a man tried to purchase an item from a corner store. He tried to pay with a $20 bill that unfortunately was fake. Because of the protocol for counterfeit money, the police was called. When the police arrived, George Floyd showed no resistance while being detained. At some point during his arrest, Derek Chauvin, the senior officer, pinned him down by placing his knee on the back of his neck. The technique is called knee on the neck. It's a very old technique and is actually outdated and is not supposed to be used anymore. After begging and begging for his life, for the officer to release him, the officer held him down, and Mr. Floyd passed away. People all around the nation of different races and ethnicities, the same thing, are upset and started protesting and rioting. As of today, the senior officer, as well as the other three, are facing charges. For the senior officer, he's facing second-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter, which is yet to be determined until tomorrow, Monday, June 8th. And the other officers are trying to blame Derek Chauvin, saying that they tried to help him. So we don't know where we are on that yet. On this panel, in this video, we have Boss Rob, Mr. Hello. We have Mr. Q. We have Mr. Q, aka Fox. We also have the Black Jester. You don't see him on here because we have technical difficulties.
That's because that man's in the darkness.
He is in the darkness. So he's in the background, but he is here. His opinions we heard, and him. And then you have me, aka Yujiro, aka Kazama. We're here. So all right, guys. Let's do this. On to you, Boss Rob. Let's do this, man.
So, as he elaborated today, we're talking about George Floyd protests. And we're going to start off with the first subtopic, which is, how did you feel when you first seen the video?
All right, who wants to go first
on? I'll speak. So this is Q. When I first saw that video, my initial thought, before I even knew what I was really, truly, deeply looking at, was, oh, it's another video of police brutality on another black man. That most likely, even though there's clear, absolute proof, these people are going to disregard as if it's an everyday occurrence, like a dog using the restroom in the grass as they walk by. But I kept watching this video, and they detain him. He's on the ground. He's in cuffs, face down. I teach martial arts. I've done bouncing. I've done bodyguard. And if you can detain a person from escort to completely secure, the target is neutralized. He's face down with his wrist behind his back. And if you're really worried about the person not cooperating, then you shackle the ankles if you're a police officer. But this guy's cooperating, and you have your knee on the back of the neck. You can break the vertebrae. And also, I believe he had chest compressions. I can't remember this part of the video as clearly. Somebody help me out here. But I believe his chest was also being compressed. So you've got the placement of that knee is cutting off. Not his breathing. Oh, so okay, I'm right then. They had people on his back, but it's not just his air supply. So he's saying I can't breathe. Yeah. But it's not that he couldn't breathe. It's that knee is on his neck and it's closing off his it's closing off his blood flow. The cardiac artery. I know I messed that very important word all the way up, but it's cutting off the blood flow to his brain. So you think you can't breathe because your brain is losing oxygen. And then you got people on your back crushing your chest cavity. So no, he couldn't breathe. No, he wasn't getting enough oxygen to his brain. But you got him. Why is your knee on the neck? Why? Is it because he's a large man? No, it's because he's a black man. There's no reason. He's done. His face is down, and it's what, at least more than 4 to 5 officers standing around you with guns while you're prone face down with your hands behind your back. You're defenseless. What is he gonna do? Get shot? There was no reason for that knee in his back. And then there's like this man is dead because of this. I was appalled.
Yeah.
Like, you murdered this guy on video, and then act like it was okay. You murdered a man. You murdered a man that was already done. He can't fight back.
Sad.
Makes no damn sense. It just makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Sad situation. Is there anything else you wanted to say to that, man?
I'm just going off my initial reaction to the video. Like,
Yeah.
and then, you know, reading about it and hearing more information about specifically that incident, is that they said that his cause of death was
Something else he was talking about, some type of drugs.
due to him being on methamphetamines,
Yeah.
and possibly due to him having like a heart murmur. But there were other investigations that showed that is not the cause of death. His cause of death is what the fuck you see in this video. You're like, it's obvious what his cause of death is. He's dying right there.
Yeah.
He's dying right there.
Did anyone want to add on to what he was saying? Anybody want to say anything?
I mean, he was on this man's neck for 9+ minutes, and it's just crazy that they still treat us like animals, less than animals. They love their dogs more than they love black people. So it's just crazy. They think about it that way.
Yeah. All right.
It's not even that it's black people. It's that it's a fucking human being. Even if they're being detained, there are general laws in the Constitution, clear as day. And this guy followed. Like, what is he supposed to do? Oh, I'm supposed to do what I'm told. I did what I'm told. Why am I still dying?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Second time. Who's next? Who wants to go next? Let's see how they felt when they watched the video.
I go. Off my first viewing of the video, just it's crazy how it makes you feel that they still have these videos going out, and it's almost normalized now to the society because you just see so many videos like this, and it's sick. It's crazy that it came to this for the world to change or begin to change. You killing a man in cold blood right on the street in front of people, and the other officers don't do nothing. They just sitting there looking and act like nothing's going on. There's nothing to see here. Like, no, that's crazy. It's mind-blowing to me. And this is just off my first time seeing it. And it's crazy how it escalated. But, man, it's just sickening. That's how I feel.
It's one of those things that either you have a lot of words or you're just so mind fucked. It's so hard to put into words the devastation that you feel as you see this. And you said you felt it was like it's getting normalized. To speak on Boss's behalf is not that, oh, it's just another video. It's the fact that this is continuously normal, that it's just fucked
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Like, why is this happening at all?
Yeah.
Fact.
Mm.
That's how I feel. You're either numb to it or you're like, what, you know. At this point, you're either angry or, you know, because people are angry now. We're just like
Yeah.
tired of it, you know. All right. Who wants to? Well, anybody want to add anything? Q, you added. Anybody want to add anything to what Rob said? I mean, yeah, to what he said. Oh. All right. Justin, you want to go?
Yeah.
All right.
With me, it kind of took me 2 days after the incident to actually watch the entire video. And that was because on my time, one of my first play, and he was you saw him begging for it. And I literally had to turn it off. And then my part of me was like, you know what? It gets to a point where you gotta face reality. So I was like, you know what? The second day, I believe I was at work. I just like, okay, let me just watch the whole video. When I watched the whole video, I was like, all right. If this ain't telling people to pretty much wake up, smell the coffee. They're in front of your face. Like, there's no getting around rest. There's no, just straightforward to the point. Clearly, you see the cop sitting there relaxing, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He knows what he was doing. He didn't care that there was cameras trained on him.
Nope.
He just was like, ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. I'm gonna come to me, honestly, it just seemed like, and I know somebody might say this, but it just seemed like this was some Judge Floyd type stuff.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember it. Please
Judge, jury, and executioner. That's what he's saying.
That's right. And it seems as though that law enforcement, not all law enforcement, but certain bad actors have taken that concept and really leave this way of I can't be touched. And that's because the justice system in general is built around that concept. If they literally explain that's how, so that's how I like that concept. Back in decades. So after I watched the actual full video, I was like, to me, it just, as a black man myself, it's just like, okay. In your mind, I don't know about y'all, but in my mind, I wanted to defense me. Even at work, I was in my mind, like, because I already noticed that certain things were going wrong. Like, even in our generation, we got our grandparents, our mom, dads, they understand. But it seemed like this particular generation, it seemed like it started to escalate worse. And that's because this generation, they started to get to the point they've had that. So if your oppressor sees that you've had enough, they pretty much are in panic mode as well. And that's how it seems to be, as though the justice system is also in panic mode. It's like, what can we do? We have a new generation coming up. The old law is dying. And that's how at that point I was like, okay, let me find out not just rights. I was at work like, hey, I need to learn more than just rights.
Hey, tell him we're gonna get to that part. We just talk about the video right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody want to add on to what Joseph said?
What about you, Kazama?
All right.
How'd you feel when you saw that video?
Yujiro.
All right. I'll be honest with you guys, man. When I watched that video, here's the thing. I didn't watch the whole video. Well, I did, but I didn't watch all the different videos. But watching the different videos made it worse. It's so
Yeah.
sad because
Yeah.
at this point, I'm used to seeing African Americans pinned down to the ground, saying I didn't do anything, let me go. Not even being a threat. Like you said, being neutralized basically. But when I went back and I looked at the other footage from the convenience store, I felt pretty bad, man. It felt bad because looking at him, I don't know George Floyd, never knew the man, never met him. I can't judge him. I don't know anything about his life. But what I saw in his face was a person, a helpless man who was being thrown around, who was being put down like a rag doll. He was just being treated so badly.
I believe the word is abused.
Yeah,
That's
he was being abused. And there was no reason to use as much force as they did because at some point they already had him in the car. Then they took him back out. And the worst part is, him just laying there, just saying, "Hey, I can't breathe, begging." And he even called at some point. He even called for his deceased mother. When he said "Mama," he's like, "I can't breathe." And
that's because he was fucking being delusional because there wasn't enough oxygen in his brain.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's sad because we can easily be in that situation. One thing I want to say is all four of us on here are African American men, and we've all been in a situation with the police or with law enforcement. We all have a story where we were treated unequally, and I'm pretty sure that would not be the case if this panel was all Caucasian males. It would not be the case. So, yeah, man, I just felt bad looking. His facial expression says it all, man. It was very sad. Kind of hurt watching it, but like I said, I'm numb to hearing about it, but it just brings back all 50, 60 African Americans who were filmed, in this situation, and it's a sad thing. It really sucks, but yeah, that's yeah. So, are we ready for the next question? Does anyone have anything they want to add to that?
Just that the family did their own investigation. They had their own coroners go and do a investigation in toxicology. Like they had big problems getting tissue samples to do the true toxicology on this guy's organs, on their family member's organs, and they did their own autopsy because they didn't believe that the coroner's office that was commissioned by the police would be non-biased or not doctor any evidence.
Yeah.
And the official report said some did say that they believe that his death had something to do with being having methamphetamines in his body, and mentioned that he had heart problems, a heart murmur. But when the investigation was done again, methamphetamines nor his heart condition had any reason to his death. The reason for his death was lack of oxygen to the brain due to prolonged, I forget the verbiage they use, but basically having a knee on his neck for a long period of time and having chest cavity restricted, making it hard for airflow to go through his lungs into his system. So that second part there, he didn't have enough oxygen being brought in, and he wasn't little to the brain. So eventually, without enough oxygen, the brain shut down, and he died due to that officer taking a rest on the back of his neck. I know we've heard the term "get your foot off my back," get your foot off my neck, and that's what it was. when I saw that, I now physically see the statement of what I heard as a kid from the unks, the old head, as we would say, saying that the man got his foot on your back. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
You can't do nothing when the man got his foot on your back. And I'm watching it
Literally.
years and years later as a grown adult, like, oh crap.
Yeah.
This is what they meant. They meant it literally.
Yeah. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, man, that's why he's gonna be charged. Like, they're trying to upgrade the charges to second-degree manslaughter and second-degree murder. They said it's gonna be a little hard to get him charged for it, though.
Why? Evidence.
For manslaughter, because it has to be premeditated for the other one. Now, murder is one thing, but it has to be premeditated to get him charged for manslaughter, because it means he, thought it out, despite the fact he stayed on him as he was suffocating for 9 minutes.
That part right there.
Yeah.
I have seen trials, like, you just watch trials and actual cases on different shows on TV.
Yeah.
You can rock an argument for that. How is it not premeditated when you held a position that you knew could cause severe damage for almost 9 minutes?
Yeah.
That's like asking the martial artist, why did you hold a rear naked choke?
Mm-hmm.
Which police has been getting in trouble for doing that to minorities, black men in general, for certain rear naked choke variations. You hold that for too long and they die.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the fuck just happened here.
They said, I heard what they were saying is the officer know George Floyd. They used to work together or something.
That's right.
At a nightclub or something.
He used to be mad because he used to be friendly with the white ladies or whatever. But just I don't know how deep it goes.
Man, that argument is going to be something else.
Yeah.
Also, this is actually going back as a thing that little $20 bill that's in. They really have to check the money.
Well, no, he go ahead. I'm sorry.
They said they were responding to it,
Mm-hmm.
but it still hasn't come out directly whether that is a fake $20. They wanted to, because you know how the media pretty much thinks that way. So,
well, the store owner, in his interview, the shop owner, one of the shop owners, he said that it was a counterfeit bill. Now, it was between 10 and 20. I think it was 20. He said it was a counterfeit bill. Now, when I used to work in the restaurant, if we got it, we would just mark it and keep it. But according to them, they said they called the police. But that's what the store owner said, just to put that info out there. Because I hear what you're saying, but I don't, no, I didn't know if you do that. But
I mean, we wait till everything comes out, and also,
I mean, but at the end of the day, that's neither here nor there. They still did.
it's not
it was
right.
wrong.
That's
It don't matter.
But in the court system, man, the court system is ended, man. The judiciary system is fucked up, so they're gonna.
I'm pretty sure he would have got more than enough trouble for just having that counterfeit bill. And what if he didn't know he had the counterfeit bill? What if he just thought that was regular money that he picked up from the store off some change?
Yeah. No. All right. Are we ready for the next question?
Yeah. So,
all right.
Moving on, subtopic 2. It's why are people protesting and rioting? Why are they doing it?
Woo. Why indeed?
Why are they doing it now? To be more specific. I go first.
Okay. Who's going first?
Okay. I just want to start off by saying rest in peace, George Floyd. But this is bigger than George Floyd. This is way bigger.
Yeah.
He's the fuse to the dynamite. He just started it.
Mhm.
It's
He's the
about
match.
yeah. It just started. So this is what we've been fighting for years. It's been over 400 years, and we still going through the same thing. It's just crazy. The same thing. We done went to war for our freedom. We done did everything to get the freedom and the justice we deserve, and it's the same thing. I guess mixing that with the quarantine stuff, being in the house so long, and
Yeah.
just sitting at home seeing this crazy stuff is just a whole mixture of stuff mixing in a pot, and now it's out. It's out.
Yeah.
It's like motherfuckers being in solitary. You said solitary for a long time. You get a lot of time to think.
Yeah. It's just
The
crazy.
internet, and all you see is everything that look like you getting effed up.
Yeah.
So
You finally get time to think about it, right? You finally get to stop and look at all this shit. You're like, wait a second, they've been doing us wrong for a long ass time. You
The
hear it,
thing,
you know.
this
we
generation is not.
we keep seeing multiple videos of people who look like us getting killed on camera, and nothing's happening. Even people who's not police officers, stuff wasn't happening. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
So now
When
we
you
finally,
get when you got dignified,
yeah,
when you got dignified people getting effed up, like the news, the news anchors, y'all
Yeah.
effing up news anchors. You messing up the senator, your senator.
yeah.
They maced their senator. Oh, somebody's
All,
badge.
all this is doing is putting it in front of people. It's like the quote they said, "Ain't nothing changed. We just got cameras now. We just can record it now."
Yes.
Only
Yeah.
thing that's going on.
Just filming it.
So people angry. They mad. And they want change. And it's going to happen. It got to happen. Now, even all the high ups starting to see that. No matter how high up you starting to see it. They're going to see it. It's going to change. It got to change. So, yeah.
Oh yeah. Are you? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm done. Y'all go ahead.
Okay. For the sake of time, for this episode, you want to add something onto it? Just add it on with your statement instead of taking the time out for it, because I want to make sure that we pace this well. For the most part, I definitely agree with you. I guess anybody want to go second? So
I'm chopping at the bit of this. After reading our topics before we got on here, this is the one that's been really burning the fire in my soul. And I'm gonna start off with a quote from Nancy on the TV show American Gods, when he said, "Angry gets shit done." And I'm gonna couple that with Martin Luther King, which has been one of the bigger used quotes in social media, is "The riot is the voice of those unheard." When you have this generation that is out there, is not just minorities, it's not just black people, it's not just brown people, it is the youth and minorities that's out there. So you've got family, friends, colleagues, lovers. You see the people you love and care about being mistreated, left aside, murdered, and there's absolute proof, video evidence that can stand up in a court of law, and ain't a goddamn thing being done. You've got people getting shot on their porch, people getting mistreated, police overuse of power with rubber bullets. You shoot them under 30 yards in the head. That woman with that big wad of paper in the middle of her forehead. All of these things. You know, the backdrop of COVID-19 being sequestered inside. You know, seeing and they're like, well, you should protest peacefully. Well, the last time we had somebody protest peacefully, he was blackballed from the NFL.
Yep.
If I can't do things peacefully, that's wrong. When I try to do things peacefully and correctly, when people say Black Lives Matter, it's like, you're terrorist. I just said Black Lives Matter, but you got all these non-minorities, these Caucasian white people with automatic weapons downtown, ready, but they're just concerned citizens. But the guy with the cardboard, the poster board that you use for science projects saying Black Lives Matter is a thug and a terrorist. You've got leadership not acknowledging the things that are happening to its people and saying when the riots are out, the guns are out. What is it? When they start looting, we start shooting. You're surprised?
Yeah.
Like
American citizen.
a child, the American citizen, says to the parent, the United States government, they're hurting me. Parent, make it stop. I'm doing what I'm supposed to. You go, shut up. Parent, make it stop. They're hurting me. Stop messing with your little brother. Parent, make it stop. They're hurting me. And you get your backhand. Well, eventually, I'm going to be strong enough. I'm going to be big enough. And I'm not getting this L no more. I'm going to fight back. This is what it looks like. And no, it's not good to destroy your home and local business. But after a certain point, when you've got citizens, children, adults, people being abused, they're eventually going to throw a tantrum. And if they're strong enough and big enough, it's not going to be a tantrum. It's going to be a forward attack.
Yeah.
Words are not working. Violence is the answer when words and diplomacy don't work.
Yeah. Sure. All right. Are you
It's not gonna.
No, exactly. Fox News is done.
It's just not. It's not how you want things to be resolved, because the best way to get things resolved is with laws and litigation. Hit people where it really hurts, and that's their wallet. Like, stop all this, and how about somebody in power, instead of just saying we're going to increase the cameras, how about you hit people where their pockets hurt? Oh, okay. So if you're accused and you have to settle any kind of situations with minorities or any other persons, any kind of grievances, and you're caught with it, not only is legal action going to happen to you, but it's going to come out of your check, your pension fund. How about that? Then maybe authorities may be like, hey, because now you're messing with my livelihood.
Yeah, I was going to say that for the next one. That would be part of the third question. Yeah, that'd be part of the third question.
Okay.
All right. Boss went first. I'll go third. Why are people protesting? I made some notes on that because there's so many reasons, man. Yeah. But pretty much, you guys really hit it on the nail with that. We're people everywhere. We're tired of seeing African Americans be treated unnecessarily. Be treated so roughly and beat down. Unfairly. That's the word. Unfairly. Like I said earlier, over 50 to 60 cases has been documented, viewed, seen of African Americans, and not just men. I mean, the men are being put down, we're being shot unnecessarily. The women are being raped, put away, killed by policemen. And the judiciary system, they're not opening these cases. They're not investigating these cases. They're just putting them up, or they're letting these guys get off with a slap on the wrist. It's like they don't care. And through their actions, it shows they don't care. The only way we're going to really be able to put this in effect to make them care is if us as a people, we riot. Now, I don't agree with you personally, but the only way we can make them do to understand and listen to us is if we protest and we march and we make our voice heard. And when it gets to the point of, hey, you just let us get angry and protest, well, we are the space that you guys put here, but guess what? We're going to go into spaces that you don't want us at because you're not listening to us. That's why, everyone is tired of seeing it. Now, some of these companies are shady. Some of them are just doing it because they don't want to see their business. Me personally, I think they're doing it because they don't want to see their businesses ruined again. Because there's a it's a likely chance that the shit's gonna happen again. You know, I've seen a lot of videos from the riots, like you said, Q, where I mean, you know, at this point everybody getting shot. With rubber bullets or hollow point, whatever the hell they're using, you know, people are getting shot. There was there was a guy who was a black guy. He was held down by 2 cops, and it's crazy because he was shot by another black guy. He was on the ground. This was during the riots, during the protesting. He was on the ground, on the bottom of the car. 2 policemen had him down. He was struggling a little bit, yeah. But the policeman pulled his gun out as they were down and shot him in the chest like 3 or 4 times. And the guy who was recording the video, he said, "Are you not fucking retarded? Do you not see what we're marching for?" So it's like we are upset. It's going to get but this was a good step because it helped show us that there are a lot of people who are on our side and they do want to see change in this. Black lives do matter, of course. You know, America was built off of us, off of our ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was built off our ancestors. We all have we all have melanin in our skin and black in us. So, you know, that's why they're protesting and marching. We, you know, and we're tired of seeing it. We're just so tired of seeing it, man. And I know I said that earlier, but it's to the point where it's like we're just tired of seeing it. We're documenting it, and they don't give a damn. Point blank, they don't care.
It's not even the seeing it. It's the fact that it is.
Yeah.
Because you could be tired of seeing it. It's like, okay, cool. We just won't let you know anything about this. But that's the thing. We're seeing it more and more because there are tools to let it be brought to the forefront. This shit been happening before any of these people on this show existed.
Yeah, and let me say, I want to reiterate that. You're right. We are tired of it. We've been tired of it. They pushed past it. We've been tired of it. And you actually just reminded me of something that I want to put out there that I actually completely forgot about. I didn't even take a note on it. I'm going to be honest with you guys and everyone who's looking at this video or however this go. This situation with the law and the police killing us, this is because they're trying to spark a war. They're trying to spark some sort of civil war. They're trying to start some sort of problem so that they can use deadly force, so that they can dwindle down our numbers. This is something that has been given to these policemen. They're telling these policemen, look, do what you have to do to spark some sort of outrage, because if not, we're not going to look right when we do start killing more of them. And we won't be in a position to do it. Either way, this is just a way to provoke us to attack. You know, they don't give a damn about these stories. These stories, you know, what are these stories? If anything, it's going to give them more money because they're going to be hired to surveil the block more. They're, you know, like, so
Let's not forget the plants. Like, what white guy in a hazmat suit is going on around breaking glass on people's tombstones,
creating false narratives for peaceful protests.
Black Lives Matter. Like, that's not what we do.
For peaceful protests.
Why are we at a graveyard?
Hold on. Okay, so when we add on to it, I'm gonna add on because I know you want to say something, Josh. So hold on real quick because I'm almost done. That's pretty much it. You did put that in my mind just now. So yeah, you did just put that in my mind. There are people who, you know, like I said, at the end of the day, this protesting in a lot of ways is there because they want us to do this. They want the people to riot and protest so that they can have a viable reason to use force to attack. I'm telling you, someone is pulling strings on this shit. It's not just oh, that guy's racist. He's a pawn in this situation, man. I'm not gonna say he's an insignificant pawn, but he's an important piece to a plan that who's ever above him is trying to move. So that's my piece on that. You guys want to add on to it? You can. I know Jester wants to go because he wanted to say something. So go ahead, fuck it. If you want to add to it, just add to it.
On what you saying though, that's why they got military grade stuff out for the police officers now, because they want to start something. They wanted to be a war, some type of stuff like that. they let them use military grade stuff and armor and all this stuff now. It's crazy.
And they've been planning it for a while, man. Tanks have been out moving for it over 2 years now. They've been putting these tanks up. They getting ready to make some moves, man. I'm telling you, they getting ready for some shit. But anything you want to add, Q?
Too much I want to add. It's too much. Like this this might be for the next.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be for the next.
So
topic.
specifically for why they're protesting. Okay, all right. Justin, go ahead, buddy.
All right, so
now remember this. My bad.
I know.
Not saying keep it short. I'm saying just keep it to why we're protesting because we're straying off.
You could put the phone closer. I don't know if you can.
They're protesting simply because, as you said, people are tired. Generations. We talk about this is literally PTSD on Black people. They're tired because of piss poor management. Politicians who don't want to listen. They only listen to money. That's their reason. And they've realized that the new generation coming up has seen we haven't seen the ugly side, but we've seen the pill of truth. And as you were saying, there's a bigger agenda, and because of this generation, that they you don't want to go with conspiracy theories or whatever like that, but they're starting to look into certain theories, which has caused things to escalate. So the only thing between, I posted articles on Facebook where somehow Rick started, powers of Rick started popping up in the city.
Yeah.
Why the riots were happening? Like, that ain't no damn decor.
Right.
And only thing I can honestly say is it's management.
Yeah.
For all of that, it's management. It's been management since this stuff started. It's been management since slavery. It's been management.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of management, if management would have said fucking something to quell it, it might have helped. I don't know.
I'm gonna just 7 deadly sins.
Oh,
that's all it is. If you
damn.
Look at it, sit down. The 7 deadly sins.
Elaborate on that, please.
Lust for power, greed, envy.
Yeah. I get you.
All of it comes from this. If you have power, you use it correctly. The people from start, we ain't even at the finish line yet, but from start to the mile marker, they've screwed up. And they know they screwed up. They planted seeds within our society to screw it up even more. And when we actually had people that were guiding us on the correct path, they cut them down.
Yeah.
Nipsey.
Yeah. That's a damn another topic right there, isn't it, man?
Yeah.
It goes way back before them. It goes way back before all of them. This goes back, we wouldn't like to get into that, but no, this goes back to even before any of us were born.
Yeah.
This goes way back deeper than that. This is literally this. If you want, okay, I'm gonna give you my definition of this. This is network for pretty much hundreds of years. Anybody don't know what proxy war is? Look it up.
Who?
Proxy war.
Oh, proxy war.
Proxy war. Yeah.
You don't know what it is? Look it up.
I know.
For hundreds and hundreds of years. This is how you control. This is how you take over. This is how you manipulate.
Okay, I get you.
So,
okay.
I gotta say.
Okay. All right. Well,
yeah. Me and you both play Metal Gear Solid. We know how to see it.
Yeah. We're gonna go on that in the next talk. Anyone want to add on to what he said? Specifically why we're protesting? I know it's a very passionate topic, man. But
I think we laid it
anyone
all
want
out.
to what?
I think we laid it all out for them.
It's probably more that we want to say about it. It's just so much emotion.
Yeah.
It's hard to put into words.
Yeah.
The best thing that I can say about this whole thing is this face right here. That's all you can really say is frustration for
Anger.
something that should no longer fucking exist.
Yeah.
For me, it's fucking sad, man. Like I'm not even angry. I'm just fucking sad. If I retaliate, it's because of just emotion of anger and hurt. It's less anger because it's like just seeing the look on his face, seeing the look on anybody's face. Like the kid who was driving, he was running from the cops, and he got out the car. He didn't have a weapon. They tased him, and then they emptied 2 magazines in him. They emptied 2 magazines in him while he was down. And that's how much they give a fuck about us, man. That would have been a Caucasian male. That would have been a white male. They were just taking him to court. They're taking him to Burger King. You know?
You just reminded me of the only thing I want to say on the whole situation of the police brutality and the mistreatment by the authorities in our country and around the world. Majority. Do you or have you ever, think about this, have you ever had to give your children this speech? And most likely it's going to be yes. Don't talk to strangers, right? Stay away from strangers. Stay with your family members and the friends that we know. Well, minorities have to have this conversation. Stay the fuck away from the police. Because anything you say, do, look, act like, if you look like a threat at any kind of situation, they're going to beat you. They're going to kill you. They're going to arrest you. And nothing that you say or do will be listened to. These are the kinds of conversations that we have to have with our kids. If you see the police, cross the street and go the other way. If you're driving and the police are behind you, pull into a grocery store or a gas station and go in and buy anything.
Yeah.
Stay away from them. This is the kind of stuff that we get taught. That's all I want to say about that.
I'm thinking about that. How I usually deal with law enforcement whenever I run into them. I typically just put on my geek voice and start talking about some shit that they probably don't understand. So if I'm talking like this, I'll just go, oh yeah, so we were running Python on the boot menu, and then we found that there was a bug with the calculations of the source code. So then we started looking at the GNU, and I started doing that because it's like, these guys are clear, like, and it comes from prejudice, and it's pure racism and it's prejudice. I should stop putting this cookie. Well, it's pure racism and it's prejudice. Like, there's certain things that's going to trigger someone to attack you, and then there's going to be like, let me look at this guy differently. He's speaking, he got a little, a lot of us, we grow to talk a certain way. We all talk certain ways, and I think that it kind of triggers, but sometimes that's not even the case. Sometimes they just They don't give a damn what it is. They
They
just
just
want
looking for
to
a target. Some of them just looking for a
yeah.
target. Yeah. It don't matter who it is.
I've gotten out of situations. I'm telling you, man, I've been in some crazy ass. We've all been in situations, but I've had a situation outside of my front door where there was like 20,
What?
and I'm telling you right now, the entire Seat Pleasant Police Department was standing at my front door to arrest me. Okay, y'all don't know about this situation.
Why?
Yeah, y'all don't know about this situation, and it's a long story, but short. To keep it short, I went in the house and I saw it because someone was threatening me in my neighborhood. They ran up on me.
Oh
And
yeah, I do know about that one. That's a long time ago, there, buddy. We know all about that one.
that was like about what 4 years ago, right? So I told you that. So what I'm gonna tell you what saved me in this situation is so crazy. They sat me down. My father came in. He came out. He pulled up. He was trying to talk to them. They kept him away from me. They tried to run into my house to grab the sword. My mother would not let them in. The white cop, the first thing he told my mother was, "He's high. He is under the influence. He's high." That's the first thing he told me. He said, "I'm looking at
What?
your son is high." That's what he told my mother. My mother said, "You do not have a warrant to search my house. You cannot come into my house." When she told me to put the sword, I said, "This is a good idea." She would not let them in. They set me down on the sidewalk. All the cops were white except this one black lady. She was one black cop, and she wasn't even really in it. But I could tell that she was standing up. Now, I'm going to tell you what saved me, and so we can move for the sake of time. One of the white sheriffs, he looked at me. He said, "Well, what happened here?" I said, "These guys chased me, da, 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 da." I said, "Well, you know where I live. Let me grab my sword, because if you know where I live, we just going to have to fight because you're not come back for me." He said, "Listen." He looked at me. My shirt was an Assassin's Creed shirt. He looked at my shirt and he just nodded his head and said, "Okay, I see." He said, "Listen, you are not a vigilante. You cannot go attack a man with if those guys had guns, you cannot go attack them with a sword. That's not how this works." At that, when he looked at my shirt, he looked me in my eyes, and I could tell that instantly we related on some way. So it shows me that these guys, the ones who are attacking and doing a lot of this stuff, like I said, I feel like it's prejudice. They don't see us as, number one, a lot of them see us as the equals, but they see us as some sort of foreign monster type situation where they don't even think that we couldn't even relate to things like with the guys in the Starbucks, or they probably like we drink coffee just like you guys do. We like Americanos and shit just like y'all do. Like for you to be so rough with us is like, where's it coming from? But I just want to put that out there because I'm telling you guys, man, I was in a bad situation. I was in a bad situation, and that probably would have been the last time you would have saw me. I promise you that, because a lot of those cops were on my ass, and it was about one of them. He was about to hurt me, man. The one who said I was high, he was coming for me. He was coming for me.
He was making an excuse to
He
harm
was
you.
making.
That's what that
He
was.
told my mother your son
He was
is
looking
high.
for a
I've never
target.
taken a
You was
drug
the
in my
target.
life.
You was the target he was looking for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's what saved me. It was the fact that I was a fan of that game. It sounds so crazy and far-fetched, but because I had Assassin's Creed, maybe it was an assassin, I don't know. If you play the game, you know what I'm saying. But the fact that I had that on me, and we related, we said, "Oh, okay, I see. This guy, he's not trying to start trouble." But
He's just somebody afraid for his life because somebody was trying to attack him in his neighborhood and said, "I know where you live." Coming for him.
Yep.
Y'all ready to move on?
That's how it works. All right. Next question. You guys, nothing you want to add? Nothing? Next question.
No.
Did we get Justin? Did you say what you had to say? Yeah, you said what.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Go ahead.
All right. So final question. What's going to be different when this is all done, and what already changed?
All right, what's going on now?
It's a big question.
Yeah, that's a serious question.
Dave Chappelle comes to mind.
The NRA thing?
I'm sorry?
What you said, Chappelle comes to mind. You talking about the NRA thing?
No, remember when Dave had he was on Saturday Night Live and he did the skits for the election.
Oh yeah, I know you're talking
He was
about.
like, I already knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And then there's another skit with Kenan Thompson, and he was on the news, and they was like, well, you had the white anchors and the black anchors. It's like, well, this and that's gonna happen. And they looked at Kenan Thompson, and he's like, so what do you think is going to happen now that all these things have happened? Is anything going to change? And he said, not a goddamn thing is going to change. It's going to be the same shittiness. And that's how I feel. It's going to be the same shittiness. It's going to be a lot of words and lip sync because elections is coming up.
Yep.
But the question is, are you actually going to do a motherfucking thing about it? Because most of the time in minority situation, the answer is no, N-word, no. Sit your ass down and be glad that I didn't shoot you yet. They don't do a damn thing. Like they did some effed up stuff to this police officer. I watched that whole video. It was a police officer who was an ex.
You sent it
I
to
believe
us
he was.
actually. You sent it to us. Yeah, he's an ex-Marine. Yeah.
Messed me up. He ex-Marine.
Yeah.
And he did that video in his squad car saying that good cops have to make other cops accountable, and we're not allowed to alienate people in their rights. The Constitution is before all this other I'm authority, I say kind of stuff. It's not the law, and it's not above the Constitution, and you're breaking these people's rights. We're not allowed to do that.
They're supposed to serve and protect the people. Constitution.
We need to show that we're going to do what we're supposed to do. And he said he got a call from his captain. He said, he put it up. He said, I didn't think any bad stuff was going to happen because my precinct is upstanding people. They're not these racist, radical, crazy, scary police officers that everybody's afraid of. That's going to just shoot you for no reason. None of that stuff. They're upstanding individuals. If you did something wrong, you're going to go down. If you didn't do anything wrong, you can be worked out. You're going to be worked out. This captain said that was a great video. We need to hold each other accountable. He said a couple of hours or an hour or two later, they called him back, and his captain said, you got to take it down. This does not come from me. It comes way above me. And if you don't take it down, we've got to put you in contempt or some kind of penalty, some kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Disciplinary action.
He had to be on leave, whatever. Pending.
They're trying to fire this man.
Yeah,
they're taking his job.
Pending. See if he gonna have.
Pending termination.
Yeah.
Nothing really good is going to happen, especially not with the people that are in the highest of leadership, because their continued action shows they can give a fuck about a minority or the poor. They don't care. They don't care about nobody that's poor or minority. And the bigger word is poor. The bigger is poor. They can give a shit if you ain't got no money for them. For them.
And if you don't got no money, they want you in jail. So you can still work for them. That's a different. That's how.
Yeah. Damn. Keep going, please, boss. Go. Please, more on that, please. What did you just say?
If you can't give them money by any means, they want you in jail. For you still work for them, which they get money through that. This is crazy. They don't care.
That's a fact, man. You speaking facts.
Like you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. It's just you in their pocket.
Slavery is illegal except for when people are in prison.
Yep. Getting paid.
That's when slavery is legal.
You getting paid. You working hours for cents. Couple of cents. That's how they doing. Crazy.
Fucking conditions in prisons are inhumane. Like, I know these are criminals, but there's no air conditioning. Any kind of health code that would run through that shit. If it was a store, it'd be shut the fuck down.
And if they
like
complain,
the point is rehabilitation, not murdering these.
Anyone want to go next?
I feel like Jester and Q got the most to say about it, so I'm gonna let you guys wrap it up. But I'm gonna go and I'm gonna let y'all finish it because I mean I know we all got a lot to say, but I know you guys got a lot to say. Let me just say, just the question. Let me go back to the question because I got to focus on this question.
Oh, you want me to say it
All
again?
right, so
Oh, you got it.
no, I just got to focus. No, I got you. I'm
Yeah, say it again. Say it again.
Yeah, I mean, it would probably be a good idea to do that.
What's going to be different when all this is done, and what already changed?
All right. So, my conclusion to all this, as far as the situation is, it's about to get crazy. And this situation, what we're dealing with is a race war. The problem is we're not equipped to retort. The problem that I have is that we are, we don't have. I'm sorry. You go ahead. Were you about to say something?
No. I just want to add on to that thought because you just reminded me. I think I sent you a video of a person, this lady on TikTok. There's a lot of TikTok videos and Instagram and stuff, and she was saying, "Well, you got all this civil unrest, and one of the things is minority gun owners, black gun owners, minorities, anything with some brown in them. They've been buying guns legally more and more because, well, we tired of people walking up into our house. It's like the big scary black person, the big monster. No, we're usually the ones getting the shit beat out of us, shot and killed. So people are like, I'm going to legally own a gun, which is not as common as people think. Like, all brown people don't have some illegal burner with the serial number filed off. Most of us don't own guns. We don't have them.
Even though the movies like to portray it like that.
Yeah, like we got it's the gun cache in there. Like orcs got beat up swords. No, we don't. But more are trying to get legal firearms to protect their homes. And that lady, I wish I could pull up that woman's name. Somebody fact check that for me. She had a TikTok video that stated that you've got you've got jurisdiction, you got legislation trying to go through where in order to own a gun, you've got to have government approved training, evaluations, and all that stuff. But it's being made so that you can't.
Yeah.
While you have all this civil unrest. So the question is, are they trying to slip some stuff under the radar? So just in case people they go, nah, we want to, do horrible things that you can't. Like, what's going on with that?
I'm gonna go into that because I want to add something to that. That's actually something that when you mentioned Dave Chappelle earlier, I thought that's what you were referring to because he said that in one of his stand-ups. He said the only way we're going to be able to deal with a lot of gun violence in America is if every black person go and purchase a firearm. That's the only way they're going to start putting in those rules and regulations because they don't really want us to own those weapons. But as far as what's going to make things different, I think right now we are not in a position to really attack the way that we should. I think that the issue is our government is really kind of made to. It's not that it's made to work against us. It's just that in this, with the rules and everything, we just are not in a position to move. We just, I mean, you can go out and destroy a Nike store. You can go out and destroy an Apple store. But how is that going to help us move forward together? Instead of the issue that I had is, okay, when they put the curfew in, that they were serious about things and they wanted to hurt people. Instead of saying we're going to put in the curfew, it should have been, hey, let's negotiate a curfew. It should have been, hey, let's talk about us doing the curfew, because if you guys don't comply, we're going to have to come at you with force. But the thing is, who do they have to answer to? Like you said, management. Like Justin said, management. Who do you have to answer to when you unjustly harm a black male, an innocent black male, or you run into a woman's house, or you pull out a car and you take her to jail, or, you know, you shoot a man for running from you. I mean, he's running. And you shot him.
That management, like all, it's an election year. A lot of elections and offices have been coming into change since the current regime came in, and there's more people.
Hold on, because I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose because I'm almost done, and I don't
I'm
want to
sorry.
lose. No, you good. I just because I want you guys to talk. You and Justin, because like I said, you guys have a lot of stuff you want to say. I'm losing my points. Like, I'm not losing it, but I just want to make sure. Now, I do think it's a big step forward. I do think it's a big step forward because it's shown us other races and ethnicities. Like, half of those races, they love us, half of them, they don't like us. But I do think it's a good step forward. What will be changed is, they're gonna put thought into it because they see that we're upset, we're angry, we're hurting, we're dangerous. But I still think at the end of the day, the only way to really move on from this is for us to put ourselves in the position. And that means we have to assert ourselves into the we have to find some way to make them take us seriously, not just through anger and violence. We have to walk in there on the same type of skill that they do, the same type of education, all that stuff.
What was you saying? You have to insert. We have to insert ourselves into what now? I couldn't hear you. So we have to assert ourselves, but into what? What were you saying?
We have to assert ourselves into like the way the government operates. We have to assert ourselves into the system, the way that it works, because the issue is that we're not in the position. We're not in a position to move. Like, we're not on equal ground. We're not on equal foot. We're just people. You know, like you said, when they, we're lucky to be there, and we're lucky we haven't been shot. You know, because that's the situation. It really sucks. I wanted to say something else. I forgot. I meant to take notes on this. And I may come back later on and add on to it. But I mean, as of right now, that's all I really have to say. I just, I hope that things change. I hope that things will be different. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. Not referring to us four in here, but in order to see change, we're gonna have to become the change. We're gonna have to change a lot within our community to start making these movements. Because like you said, Boss Rob, it's bigger than George in the sense of racist attacks and the sense of prejudice attacks, but it's also within us as well, as far as domestic violence, as far as attacking your brother and robbing your brother, or our views on women, or our women's views on us, or the type of mind control that they put into the media with the music that they play that encourages violence and encourages ignorance, and the foods that they give us, that they put down the hill from me. There's nothing healthy to eat. There's a Subway. There's no.
That's called a food desert.
It is, and it was put there. It's there because they're trying to, like Arizona's, all these things are made to destroy our fertility. Is made to hurt us, but we have to focus on, we gotta, as I said, we have to. Our fathers before us, not all of them, but a lot of them, they weren't there, or they just weren't great examples. But we have to, for the kids, we have to, hold on, I got you. We have to look at the youth, our children. We have to look at them. We have to be role models for them, and not just us. For majority of we all gonna have those guys who don't care, but we have to make an influence in a system to build for those kids, because they're the future. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel that the generation right behind us, the kids that are a little bit younger than us, they're not on the right path, man. everything from the music. The best thing that I can say is that they're able to speak their mind, but they're not really concerned with it if they don't feel it directly affects them, they're not gonna act upon it. I feel that we should teach all the kids that we have, everyone. We should just be role models. Q with your martial arts, Rob with your work ethic, with your wisdom. Jester, same thing with your work ethic and your wisdom, and Jester, I know you're gonna touch on the weapons defense thing too. But we need to do those things because that's how you're gonna get real change, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, we have it, but it's not enough of it, and I'm in it. I really want to hear what you two have to say because I've had conversations with you guys, and you guys had a lot that you wanted to say as far as this specific part goes. But that's my piece on it. That's why I leave it on that. So
I want to hear what Justice say before I come out the mouth because he has some really deep words most of the time when it comes to this kind of change.
Yeah, man.
Justin, what you got, big bro?
Make sure you put it close for him.
Yes, we can hear him.
Yeah.
You can hear him?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you now.
This situation, honestly, it's like if you look at how they say the vaginal shield, but you gotta look at it as a bigger system. I might sound messed up what I'm about to say, but if anybody knows Captain America, they know what Hydra is, and that's pretty much what this is. You're in a Hydra situation, and a lot of people probably didn't catch on. They probably haven't caught on for years. Think about this: how things can change. I mean, it was. You know how they say George Floyd. It's bigger than him. But for this to happen was a hell of a time right around election time. Because now you literally have the chance to say, the people literally have the chance to not only hold their elected officials accountable, but hold them hostage to their word. So you don't want to, you don't want to play ball, fine, and I'll have to vote for you. And if I know that this set of people didn't vote for you, and I know that somehow you still won your election, well, now the facade is up. So, it's a lot of stuff. That's like, even when it comes down to passing laws, which they're going in certain cities, cops have literally gotten pissed because the laws that they're passing, these are emergency laws it's to bring order to the game. I don't want to say mainstream order, but bring order. And also, it's to pretty much keep that money flowing. A lot of cities are calling for defunding the police. I can go along with that, but I'm more along the lines of it's time to get rid of the old guard. It's time that old guard had that belief system, which is the Judge Dredd belief system. It's time for that to go. And a lot of I talk to cops personally, and they're pissed off about this. They're like, "Look, we're done. We're tired of seeing this." And it's like, but they also say that, like I said in one of those videos, it comes from the top, so that that old guard at the top still like to play chess. And the whole time, they're actually, because of the lack of guidance that they caused, and what I was taught from the 70s to the 80s because of the crack epidemic and everything like that, the wars and stuff like that, that it caused this generation now to literally not have the guidance that they need. So, in other words, they can sit there and say, well, you guys just don't understand. You know, it has to be law and order. Well, show me order then, because you damn sure not showing me. You know, you're breaking the law. You're literally going out here and assassinating people. You're not just, you know, you see a guy land, you have a guy in custody. And this goes not just for, you know, this situations happen all over. But people will be detained and somehow they die. How is a person handcuffed in the back of a car and somehow they got bullets in them? Oh, they had a gun on them. Really? Where? I guess you patted him down before you how? They had an incident, I believe in this area, where somehow a cop got locked up, lost his job, locked him up. They literally, because he killed the guy. And he said he was known for having anger management problems. So the first thing they have to do is they have to get rid of this old guard. It's glad that this generation, I'm gonna say this, it's kind of messed up, but it's the truth. So it's all the goddamn people. Corona did one good goddamn thing. It made people have to focus. People couldn't focus at first. They couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. So when Corona broke out, people stayed home. They was able to actually see horrifying things. This right here is a political. Coronavirus is a political figure's worst nightmare, because now your public is now focused on you. And the same thing goes for law enforcement. The public is now focused on you. So when you come into a neighborhood, you say, an all-black neighborhood, you say, well, we're here to do policing. We're trying to find drugs and guns. Which, by the way, I had an incident a while back where cop pulled me over right after I had drove out of Jiffy Lubes. You know, I drove like I went to go get, you know, oil change, and I sat in the parking lot for a second. And I just so happened to be on Facebook. I had plenty of time to kill. I had to go take care of me around. So I just sat on Facebook. As I pulled out, cop pulled up right behind me. He was like, "Oh, we just saw you sitting there." It's like, show me sitting there. Oh, you just look suspicious. I look suspicious because I'm sitting here on Facebook. Yeah, can we search your car? Which I know if I'd have said no, it would have been some stuff. But as I started to learn my rights, because that's the biggest problem. I say this, and that's another thing. Just as though they ask you for your license and registration, you need to also have your rights laminated in your car. That way you know exactly right. That way it puts them in a position where it's like, wait a minute, oh, you got a situation. Yeah, that. To me, honestly, because of how petty things have been going, you want to hold them accountable for everything now. Put cameras in your car. They do bait cars all the time. You can buy a cheap HD camera and have it on a single footage feed in your car, which is like even underneath your seat. So if that's fool on a plant, court ain't gonna look real. It's gonna get real nasty for them in court. You know, there's no laws against putting a camera in your car.
To just
nobody else.
I'm just gonna shortcut. Very tiny, very, very tiny. I had an employee. I thought this kid was crazy, but then after he told me, I was like, this man is a genius. Black young kid. He put cameras 360 degrees around his vehicle and several cameras at different angles that can see outside of the passenger and the driver's side window. So if anybody tried to say he did this, that, or the other in an accident, he could pull the footage and be like, lies. If he got pulled over and they could try to say he did this, that, or the other by a police officer, he can go, lies. I have the absolute proof. Yeah, it is not illegal to record yourself or your surroundings of your vehicle. It's not illegal to do that.
That's smart, man.
Here's what I really need people to really do. We all gone to the movies and we've seen like technological advancements in life. This is how, and honestly, because one of our friends on Facebook asked me, it's like, how can black people get out of this? I always believe this notion that the only way blacks can get ahead is through science. That's the only key. You've done it plenty of times, but somebody's always taking credit for our work.
Yeah.
That's the only true belief. Like that, and another thing is, and this really kind of is, I'm a U.S. citizen. My taxes pay your light bills, put food on your table. If I got the police, my politician, there's no fucking point of me actually paying them.
Yep.
It's no point in me paying. I'm paying you so that this dude can come out there and mess with my ass. Why am I paying you? That's I don't need to pay. And that's the whole thing with the public. Hey, if it comes down to it, buy some drones.
So
smile and put your ass on candid camera. If it comes down to it, you just gotta do what you gotta do. And the last thing I'm gonna say before I get up off of this is basically, when I say know your rights, I mean adaptation. That's the whole deal about us. That's the whole deal about the human race. No adaptation. And it's documented that when it comes to our evolution and everything, our defense system is all jacked the fuck up. Every animal, every other creature on Earth has a vicious ass defense mechanism for getting away from a predator. We're the only ones that's actually at the bottom of the chain.
That's what I wanted to hear, man. Go into that, bro. Please. That's what I wanted to hear. It's evolution, man.
Nobody doesn't know their rights. Creatures, you will always have a defense mechanism. That's why that whole, I don't get that whole resisting arrest when you fall up in the back. You're whooping my ass. What do you expect me to do? Just lay there?
Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
Exactly.
I'm not a Shaolin monk. And if I was a Shaolin monk, your ass would be in a whole lot of trouble.
This nigga.
So,
Yeah, when you tell me stop resisting and I'm curled up into a ball as you stomp a mud hole in me and walk it dry, what am I resisting? I need help from you.
One of our friends posted something on Facebook that I really would, if I had that chance, I would do. They said all of the civil rights activists, if you had 1 hour with a dinner with them, which one would you take? Which one would you take? And I said, Malcolm X.
What's the question? What's the question?
The question was, if you had one chance to talk to any civil rights leader from the past, which one would you talk to?
Oh.
For 1 hour. And I said Malcolm X. The reason for being is because Malcolm X,
He had the right idea, man.
yeah, they took his belief system and they tried to make it into something else. You know how they do, their way. So they said that, oh no, you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to, defend yourself. And it's like, his whole joint was, if you don't mess with me, I don't mess with you. I'll draw a line in the sand. And you don't have no problems.
Yeah.
When he was on that level, a lot of people, certain people in power got scared.
James Baldwin.
Because they didn't want that. They wanted, they wanted you to be helpless and defenseless. And that's how I look at the whole adaptation thing. As a human being, it's your choice to evolve past, people, honestly, people don't look at how the government looks at it. But the government, certain top dogs look at us as puppets, marionettes.
Yeah.
You gotta set
So, you know,
you gotta use
what has changed? That's the first part of the question, right? What has changed, right?
From the
The thing,
protest.
because of the protests and the thing that has changed, especially due to the backdrop of COVID-19. Like you said, boss, like you said, Kazuma.
Hold on, John. You done?
Yeah.
Okay. You got okay. All right. Go ahead, Q. My bad.
The things that's changed is that there was more than enough time in isolation for that you can't miss this shit. You can't miss it. And the things that would need to change is in order for any of this to be better, to do better, is like I said, it's election year. It's election year. You gotta, like Jester said, you gotta hold these people in power accountable, because we're paying you to take care of the running of this country. You gotta hold them accountable, and the biggest way that you can hold these people accountable is to put people in power that you believe are gonna actually do anything for any of us. The current people in power, if you look at what they're trying to do, like that son bitch Mitch McConnell and other minority, anybody without $1 billion, nothing good for you. Nothing. They can dress it up as much as they want. They can try to slide it under the radar. They try to use buzzwords like, "Hey, they're stopping your stimulus check." But what they wasn't telling you is the reason why that stimulus check was being stopped is because you was trying to slide in some old devious bullshit that was going to mess up people's livelihood. Right along with that money, you was trying to make that money come out of people's taxes, their tax returns, as an advance. They tried to do that, and the thing is, most people we still don't know if when it comes to tax time, the next time for taxes, if it's gonna be like, "Hey, remember that money I gave you? I'm gonna need that back." You don't know. So as far as the things that need to be changed, is put people in power that are actually going to do anything positive for minorities at all. Go out there and actually vote. Any part of the generation, he's like it. When you said this generation, they not ready. I keep hearing a number of this generation going, "There's no need for me to vote because it's not gonna matter." That's how they feel. It don't matter if I try, because it don't do nothing anyway. They don't want you to vote. They don't want your voice to be heard. Exactly. Go vote. Yeah. And in the meantime, like you said, our children, educate your children, put them in a position of a path that their dream affects people positively, and give back to the nation to help shape it. Because if you don't make some kind of positive difference for the youth, and you don't take your time to be mentally and actively involved in the actions of the government at the level that you can even change anything, which is your vote, then you're wasting your time. Because it's not just going to be you. Because the biggest thing that we keep saying over and over and over and over again is this shit was fucked up before we were born. So what are you going to do for your children? Like Boss got kids. Jester's got kids. We're hoping to have some of our own. Yeah. What are we doing as the de facto adults? The people in their late 20s, early 30s, the adults in power, more or less, to make a difference with the knowledge, with the access. What are we doing? Are you voting? Are you voting? Did you vote local? Yeah. Are you going to vote for this primary? Definitely. What are you teaching your kids? But like, that's the big changes. Those are the real changes right there.
Yeah.
Are you paying attention to not just the presidential election, but the ones that are going to really matter, like the House and the Senate, the judicial? Who's the Supreme Court justice right now? Do you know that whole situation?
Yeah.
Man, don't let them cases go to the Supreme Court if you can help it, because it's not good for you if you're poor or brown. It's not. When those times come up for us to vote for those things that really matter, the positions in our government that last longer than the presidency, you know, those old funky donkeys that are still around shooting us in the back, hamstringing us, like Mitch McConnell that's been there forever, that's ancient,
Yep.
and still think a good N-word is a dead N-word. Sweep them boys out. Put people in that thinks a good person is a good person and a bad person is a bad person.
Like it's supposed to be.
I ain't got nothing else to say.
All right. Anyone want to add anything on to what they said? Anything?
I'm gonna leave.
Whoa. Keep it short, because
I know I keep it short.
I can see the look on Q's face. He's like, man, fuck, I don't know.
This is, you know, after watching exactly what I'm about to say, people shouldn't be afraid of that shit.
Say that again?
And I said, like V said from V from Vendetta, people shouldn't be afraid of their government. The government should be afraid of them.
They sure shitting bricks right now.
Yeah.
I want to say something real quick. I want to ask you, I got two little things, and then we're done. The first thing is, you said that earlier. Justin, you said something awesome about who would you talk to, right? You chose Malcolm X, right? All right. Q, you chose. Who did you choose? You said James Baldwin?
Yep.
Okay. Boss,
If you don't know who that is, he's the guy in the documentary "I'm Not Your Negro."
Okay, we're gonna. All right, I'm gonna look him up. Rob, who do you pick?
Guess I would go with MLK.
Okay, for me, I would roll with. If he's still around, I would like to have a nice talk with Farrakhan, man, because it's like, you know, like he not perfect, but I tell you, man, he's definitely trying to adapt to it, to the situation. But I like that, because I just thought about that. I was like, man, who the hell would I talk to? You know, and say, even though he's more about health. Okay, so I have one last little thing, just to add on to the whole everything, and we're done here. I wasn't protesting and marching, even though I want to go check it out. But my way of doing a lot of things is through music. So I went back and listened to a lot of the albums last week that I've just been listening to for a long time, but especially these albums. Tribe Called Quest, We Got It From Here. Thank You For Your Service. Great album. Kendrick Lamar, To Pimp a Butterfly. Lupe Fiasco, Tattoo on You. Lupe Fiasco, The Cool. Lupe Fiasco, Food and Liquor. Dumbfounded, We Might Die. IDK, Is He Real? Logic, Everybody. And the last one is Joey Badass, All American Badass. I think everyone should listen to that album if you get the chance. Very good album. I don't know, you know Joey Badass. He's from the show. He was in the show Mr. Robot. He was one of the characters. Yeah. Very great artist. Very real guy. He practically sacrificed his career for this album with the statements he made. I just wanted to put that out there real quick. So, all right. Did we all say what we had to say on everything, everyone?
There is a track by T.I. But I think it might be Letter. No, we will not. That's the track, I believe.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, We Will Not. On the album Us or Else, Letter to the System. We Will Not.
The album is We Will Not. Yeah.
Yeah. No, the song is We Will Not.
I said the album too.
The album is We Will Not too? Okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
You know,
But,
sometimes I've had a song in it.
Yeah, the song We Will Not by T.I. If you've never heard it, listen to it. That is how minorities feel right now. That is how we feel right now.
Okay, so the album is Us or Else.
Yep, Us or Else. That's what I was saying. Us or Else, Letter to the System.
And
But the song is We Will Not.
Gotcha. We'll check it out, definitely. T.I. is a great person to talk to about things too, man. He's on point with a lot of stuff, man. I like his approach to things. Killer Mike too, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Days, man. Yeah. All right, then. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up, guys.
Let me say one more thing.
Okay.
They put a sign up that said Black Lives Matter. That's not enough.
Yeah.
That's not enough. We need equality. And I'm gonna just end with the quote that George Floyd, a daughter, said. Her dad passed away, but she's gonna smile, knowing that her dad changed the world. That's amazing.
Good. Yeah, man.
Rest in peace.
Yeah,
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Black Lives Matter. Rest in peace. Damn, it's deep, man.
Yeah.
Deep.
Y'all with the friends. Good talk, man. Good talk.
All right. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to us. If you get the chance, we would love to hear what you guys have to say about any of this.
Yeah, please put something in the comment. Please.
Yeah, share. Even if you disagree with what anyone says.
Yeah.
You know.
Everybody got their own opinion. You know.
And we know that this one, this time around, we didn't run every single fact check on everything that we said. It's just like you, we've been seeing things in the media. So if you see or hear stuff that we're saying, you can fact check it, run it. Like, let us know. Let us know, and don't put an argument without something to back it up, please.
Yeah.
Like, we want to know what you think.
Guess we out.
Peace.
All right.
All right. All right. It's always a bigger agenda. All right.